Hari Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Jyotirmayananda Society, a journey to self-realization. Please subscribe our channel for the mystical meanings of the scriptures and to enjoy daily satsang. We are currently exploring the book The Mystery of the Soul, Katha Upanishad, commentary by Swami Jyotirmayananda Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. We are currently on chapter 1, mantra number 22. Nachiketa said, O death, thou hast declared that even gods have doubt pertaining to this subject and that it is difficult to comprehend. No other teacher can be found greater than thee, nor can there be a boon equal to this. Nachiketa said, It is very difficult to come into contact with a guru like you. The attainment of a guru is the highest blessing in human life. A spiritual preceptor who knows the pitfalls and the nuances in the path of self realization. A guru shows the way to immortality. You are the presiding deity of death. You know the nature of the soul and the knowledge that bestows immortality. I beseech you, if you have love for me, please give me the knowledge of Atman as my third boon. Any other boon I do not consider greater than this. Why do you press me to renounce this boon that I have asked for? Let's put it in context. Nachiketa is a 5-year-old boy in um, Lord Death's abode in Yama. So again, validating the fact that soul is timeless and ageless. The body may be 5-year-old, but inside the data is a sage, much older, much wiser than thousands of yogis. So Yama said, ask for sons and grandsons who shall live 100 years. Ask for many cows, elephants, horses, gold, etc. Ask for extensive land, and also that you may live as many years as you wish. So Yama is trying to distract. Yama tests the development of Vairagya or dispassion in Nachiketa. He tempts Nachiketa by the promise of these 16 forms of worldly prosperity. What are these 16 forms? And many of us, even very old, are stuck in these name and fame and different forms of this world attractions. Number 1, sons. 2, grandsons. 3, herds of cattle. 4, elephants. This is at that time, so you can use your own logic for today's world. 5, gold. 6, horses. 7, extensive land. 8, long life. 9, wealth. 10, the means of livelihood for long years. 11, emperorship. 12, fulfillment of all desires. 13, divine enjoyments. 14, celestial women. 15, maidens who are skilled in dance and music. And 16, maids for those women. So as you can see, many of these are still very valid in today's world as much as they were back in those ages, because these desires are endless. Lokeshana being um, fame, people knowing you; with Teshna, desire for wealth and its various forms; and Putreshna is progeny, kids, grandkids, family, extended family, so on. These 16 temptations are presented before Nachiketa in this mantra and the following mantras. Moving on to mantra number 23. O Nachiketa, ask for innumerable sons who may live 100 years. You are endowed with knowledge and good qualities. Choose this for your third boon, or ask for grandsons or the best type of herd, or ask for all these put together. Yama tries again. Mantra 24. O Nachiketas, ask for any other boon, for wealth, prosperity, long life, whichever you consider equal to that, the knowledge of the self. May you be an emperor of this extensive world. I'll make you the king of the whole world, not just a country. I shall enable you to enjoy the best of all enjoyments. Yama tries again. Mantra 25. Whatever enjoyments are difficult for the mortal beings to enjoy, ask them all according to your choice. Take with you these heavenly nymphs, fair apsaras, along with chariots and musical instruments. Verily, such enjoyments are not attained by the human beings on the earth. Be served by them. But, O Nachiketas, do not ask me for the knowledge of the self, for the state of the soul after death. Yama continues to tempt Nachiketa in various ways, but the heroic Nachiketa stands adamant in his resolve to acquire the knowledge of the self. Yama, as it were, advises these enjoyments are real and sure, while the fruit of knowledge is abstract and insecure. What is the benefit of Atma Vichar, inquiry into the self? Why should you abstract Atman or the self? O Nachiketas, be wise and do not ask the boon of Atmic knowledge. So the Yama gives him all the temptations possible in different ways, shapes, forms. He asks in three or four different mantras. Mantra 26. Finally, Nachiketa answers. O Yama, these enjoyments are perishable in nature. Further, they destroy the vigor of the senses and the mind. In addition to this, even the longest life is short. Therefore, let these chariots with their dancers and music remain with you. I do not desire them. So, very high level of vairagya when you have, can somebody say that? Otherwise, these temptations are so profound that many advanced sages have also come under its influence. Therefore, this Maya or allurations of this world, the temptations, all these bells and whistles are very alluring. And a lot of determination and firm resolve, like Nachiketa, is needed to be on this path. So, Nachiketa discusses the impossibility of deriving joy from any kind of object. So, he was a very advanced yogi at such a young age. They are impermanent and transitory, he says. They have a beginning and an end. How can they give joy during that brief period between birth and death? Whether the objects are celestial or mortal, they do not give happiness because of their perishable nature. Only those who have their minds colored with desire can derive joy from perishable objects. The pleasure in objects is imagined and not real. This is the essence of Vedanta shared through this Upanishad. If these objects give happiness by their own intrinsic nature, then all people should derive similar joy from similar objects. But the object that delights the heart of an animal does not delight a man. That which delights a man does not delight a god. Thus, the objects are not equally pleasant to all. This shows that happiness is not in the objects, but in the imagination of the mind. According to good or bad deeds, a jiva or soul takes different births, and in each birth, the enjoyments pertaining to that particular birth are considered the best. The enjoyments of the other classes of beings are considered worst. The enjoyments of a dog may appear most ridiculous to a man or a god. But to a dog, all human enjoyments are useless and insipid. Therefore, objects do not give happiness by their very nature. But jivas or souls affected by their vasanas, subtle desires, imagine happiness in them, just as a person suffering from jaundice sees everything yellow. The idea that the objects are pleasant is due to one's jaundiced vision affected by ignorance. The self alone is bliss. All objects must depart, being ephemeral in nature. If somebody gives you a diamond ring, expensive diamond ring, or a beautiful gold necklace, how happy you will be. you have so much value for that because it's priceless and very exquisite. But suppose you put that same necklace and on a cow's head, you garland the cow with that gold necklace. What value does she have for it? None. And this is how we say the objects and their value reside with us in our minds. Different people perceive these things differently. The objects of the senses may give happiness at present, but they will give 1,000 times more misery at a later date. And therein lies the profound knowledge. Even the life of Brahma, the creator, is conditioned by time, much less we mere mortals. Even the longest life is very short. And that's why Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita also says, if you take the path of virtue, initially it tastes like poison but turns into nectar. But if you take the path of pleasure, worldly enjoyments and intoxicants, etc., initially it feels very pleasant and joyous, but then it takes you to hell. It becomes poisonous. According to the Puranas, one full year of the mortals who reside on the earth is equal to one day and night of the gods. The 6 months of the Uttarayana, the northward journey of the sun, is daytime of the gods, and 6 months of Dakshinayana, the southern journey of the sun, is night for the gods. So 360 days and nights of the gods go to make one divine year. 12,000 divine years are the duration of one full cycle of the four yugas: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga, and each of these is one cycle. So, when the four yugas rotate 1,000 times, it constitutes one day of Brahma, the creator. The night of Brahma is the same duration. In the night of the Brahma, the three worlds are destroyed. So, if you calculate it, it comes to roughly uh, the daytime being 4.6 billion years, and the night also of the same amount, 4.6 billion years. And how much do we live? We feel very happy if we live to be 100. So that is the context here. So this is called Naimittik Pralaya. Brahma lives for 100 such years at the time. At the death of Brahma, there happens Mahapralaya or great dissolution. Thus, time is relative. Whatever comes under the sway of time must meet death. This samsara, the world process, is full of misery. It is as unstable as foam and froth on the ocean. Nachiketa pondered, what will I do with all the objects of the world, with the elephants, the chariots, the celestial nymphs, women's, apsaras, sons and grandsons, which are transitory in nature and a source of pain finally? O Yama, keep all these things. You cannot divert my mind from its cherished boon to know the nature of the self. So again, such a firm resolve from Nachiketa, and we will continue from mantra number 27 in tomorrow's satsang. Hari Om Tat Sat.